Good morning, class. How are you? Okay, so last week we looked at gender concepts. We also looked at gender roles and sex roles, whereby we were able to define the meaning of sex, gender roles, and other different gender concepts. Now, just as a recap, what do you understand by the word gender equality? Gender equality. What do you understand by this term? We looked at it last week.
Process of being fair to men and women. The process of
Equality.
equality.
Mm.
The process of being fair
The equity kaya.
and
Eh? What is gender equality? Because the definition that you have given is for gender equity,
equality.
where there's fairness.
Fairness between male and female.
What the definition that you're giving is for gender equity, fairness between male and female. That's gender equity. So I'm asking, what is gender equality?
An equal treatment between male and female. An
Equal treatment? Equality. What do you understand by gender equality? Didn't we cover this last week? So when you're coming for the next class, at least you need to give yourself a recap of what you studied.
I think it's a situation in which opportunities are unaffected by gender.
They are equal. They are equal. They are equal in the sense that, despite could this one is male or female, but they have equal access to different either resources or opportunities that are available. So there's in all aspects of issues being addressed, there's equality. There's equal opportunities to all genders. While gender equity, there's fairness. I even gave out an illustration of two groups of people trying to pick something on top. Can you remember that illustration I gave out? So how are you feeling? What about gender? Gender mainstreaming. How did we define it? Gender mainstreaming. The process used to ensure that women and men's concerns, experiences to integral to the design, implementation, monitoring, evaluation of all registration policies and programs. It has more to do with having an in-depth understanding and being able to carry out monitoring implementation measures to these policies and programs. We looked at several of these concepts. Used in gender and development. We also looked at gender sensitivity. We also looked at sexuality. How did you define sexuality? Sexuality. How did you define sexuality? Can you please raise up your voice? Can you please raise up your voice? You're very correct, but your voice is very low.
Sexuality, this is the sexual attraction between different genders.
Between different genders. It can either be between male or female, or female to female, or male to female. That's where we came up with this abbreviation of LGBTQ. Eh? How did we say the abbreviation LGBT refers to? G, B, T, Q. What does it stand for? One speak out it then.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender.
Okay, fine. So it was that was just a recap of what we covered last week. Today we want to look at the relationship between sex and gender across cultures. The relationship between sex and gender across cultures. Mainly, we'll be looking at the Hofstede study. The relationship between sex and gender across cultures, focusing on Hofstede study. So this is a study that was conducted by 3 or more people. He wanted to find out how values in workplace are influenced by culture. So this study was done in order to find out how values in the workplace are influenced by culture. So this study came up with the 6 dimensions of natural culture based on the extension of research which they did. They came up with the dimensions of culture. Now I want us to be in groups of 2. I want us to be in groups of 2 and come up with the 6 dimensions of culture according to the Hofstede study. So we're going to be in groups of 2. These groups are going to they are going to be created according to numbers. So the ones will be in one group, the 2s will also be in one group. Are we clear on that? So we start 1, 2, 1, 2, then the ones make one group, the 2s make one group. 1, 2. So we get into the groups of 2s and discuss the 6 dimensions of culture according to Hofstede study. You are given 30 minutes. After that, we are going to present. Groups of 2. No. I thought you have a number. Yes. All the ones will make one group. All the 2s will make one group.
There are 2 groups will be
She's saying group should be 2, 2. That's why I'm asking group the numbers. It's 1 and 2.
Where is the confusion coming from?
That simply means 3 groups. We have
3 groups of 2s.
Mama.
They were supposed to count from 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
2.
1.
I hope we have seen our partner.
Dimensions of culture.
According to Hofstede's culture, I want you to come up with the 6. Dimensions of culture according to Hofstede's study. 30 minutes it should be done so that the questions That's why you have to wait. We are running away from such type of situations. So we should be done by 9:05, 9:05, 9:10 should be done.
You will start the cover. Okay.
Make it interactive so that at least each one of us is able to understand and is able to explain to the class. Because after the presentation, we are going to fire with questions. So it's not just about copying and pasting, no. It's about discussing. What do you understand by this first dimension? You're free to talk. So we discuss it, because if you're not talking in groups, how are you going to talk in front of us? Because you should explain to us clearly the 6 dimensions and even give out examples. Yes? Because when you give out an example, that means you've really understood the dimensions. Then just explain them, no. Even give us examples so that they are relevant to us. Give us relevant examples. since the 30 minutes is not enough, because most of you are in the second dimension.
You would have shared the dimensions, man.
No.
Two.
No, because I'm interested in how you're going to explain them, because the way each group is going to explain is different. So I want that uniqueness, because by the end of it all, it will be very easy for you to understand these dimensions. Very easy for you to understand and very easy for you to remember. One, because it will be each group has tackled all the dimensions, then you'll be able to relate with how other groups have also defined the same dimensions. At least by now you should be tackling the third one. Why? Kids are found in primary school, not at university.
This one is the same.
We should be addressing dimension number 4-5, eh?
Depends how many you want.
Next time.
Three. What did you say? Six?
We should be finalizing the last one, the last dimension. done. If you're finished, raise up your hand. Which group has finished? One group. The rest. Which dimension are we looking at? Number. Mm-hmm. You're finished? Okay, fine. Okay, so we're remaining with one group. How many minutes should we give you? You're the only group remaining. You have to present and analyze it. So the presentation will be 5 minutes for each group. 5 minutes enough, it's enough, eh?
You speak the way to speak.
We're done, eh? You're finalizing. Pasa de la semana. Pasa de la semana. Pasa de la. Indeed. You're done, eh? It's time, Mom. Let's go back to our place. Right? Let's go back to our places. I hope each group has identified who's going to represent the group in presenting. Okay, fine. Let's go back to our groups. We'll start presenting. Okay, so I hope we have done a very thorough group discussion. Now it's time for presenting. We're going to start with group 1. As our friends are presenting, let's make sure we listen very carefully, because at the end of the presentation we're going to ask them questions where we have not understood. We should also be able to give some comments where necessary. Yeah, let's start with group 1.
According to group 1, we came up with 6 dimensions of culture according to Workspace study. The first dimension is collectivism versus individualism. Individualism is more on self-care and about an individual and those people who are close to them, while with collectivism, you look at a whole group of people that surrounds you. For example, a family minding their own business, where collectivism is more of a group work. The second one is power distance index, where it's looking at the status of the person, which determines the power and the respect one gets in the community in which he or she is in. For example, rich people tend to be leaders of the community for what they have, and they are just respected for that. The third one is masculinity versus femininity. This is whereby the community see and differentiate a man and a woman in a way that a man is supposed to be a provider and look after his family, while a woman is supposed to take care of the children and him with love and care as well as respect. The fourth one is long-term orientation versus nomadic orientation, which is morally on keeping the old culture alive for the other generation, even though as time passes there is always going to be that change. And with education there is new adjustments from the past, present, and we can tell that the future is going to be as different from the old culture. The fifth one is indulgence. Oh, it was indulgence. Or indulgence is when the society allows some behaviors which are considered abnormal, but for the wishes of the people, they are just let to be done, whereas on restraint, they set rules that maintains and regulates the normality of the society. The sixth one is androgyny, which is, I should say, whereby a person have both male and female character, whereby they are described on how they look or dress.
You finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions from the class? Any comments?
The last one is what?
Androgyny. 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 Having both male and female character. And these people are described on how they dress or how they just look as a guy.
That is information on hosting as well.
No, any comments or questions? I have one question. The way you've explained masculinity and femininity, I wanted you to explain it in a society context, because your explanation is in a family context. But now, in a society context, how will you explain masculinity and femininity? In a society context.
Women are carried as work as they in kitchens. Doing the females
In the society, in a society context view, how would you explain that?
in the society, women are regarded as the people who work in the kitchens. During females are working, while rather than men who are the ones who are buying the stuff, they are providing money for the society. They are the leaders doing that project.
Interesting. Let us give them a clap. Good too.
Dimensions of culture according to Hofstede study, we have come up with 6: power distance, uncertainty avoidance, individualism or collectivism, masculinity and femininity, long or short-term orientation, indulgence and restraint. The first one, power distance, refers to the extent to which less powerful members of organizations and institutions including the family, accept and expect an equal power distribution. For example, those who are leaders because of their common wealth, and those who are below the poverty line are not considered with their common wealth. The second one, uncertainty avoidance. This refers to the extent to which the culture members feel threatened by uncertain, unknown situations or embrace these situations. Hence, Hofstede argues that since uncertainty can create anxiety, all societies have found coping mechanisms to deal with that anxiety. For example, we have lower class and high class. The higher class expresses emotions and they determine weak interest in politics, while the lower one suppresses emotions and high interest in politics. The third one, individualism. In an individualized society, there is an expectation that individuals look often themselves and connections between individuals are loose, while in collectivism society, individuals are integrated into strong, cohesive groups which may often involve extended families. For example, you choose your own life, your own fashion style, you are not afraid of experimenting new ideas, you live your life for your fulfillment. Masculinity or femininity. Masculinity side of this dimension represents a preference in a society for achievement, assertiveness, and material rewards for success. While a society at large is more competitive, it is opposite. Femininity stands for preferences for cooperation, caring for the weak, and quality of life. Long or short-term orientation. Long-term orientation tends to characterize by a focus on the future, a focus on perseverance and delays in short-term gratification for future benefit. Long-term orientation tends to be characterized by a focus on the future, a focus on perseverance and delays in short-term gratification for the future. While short-term orientation tends to be characterized by a pursuit of immediate gratification, fulfilling social obligations and concerns with social hierarchy. The last one, it's more indulgent or indulgence. It's more indulgent society allow relative free gratification for human drives related to enjoying life and having fun. Society that leans towards, while society that leans towards restraint suppresses gratification of needs and regrets. That means strikes social norms.
Any questions? Any comments? The previous group talked about unraveled. Did you cover that dimension? Can you come again the 6 dimensions which you came up with?
Power distance, uncertainty avoidance, individualism or collectivism, masculinity or femininity, long and short-term orientation, indulgence and restraint.
I'm just interested in the way you've defined the dimension of femininity and masculinity. Can you please come again?
Masculinity side of this dimension represent a preference in a society for achievement, assertiveness, and material rewards for success, while a society at large is more competitive. Its opposite, femininity, stands for preference for cooperation, caring for the weak, and quality of life.
Any more questions, comments? No questions? No comments? Okay, fine. Let's give them a clap as well. Group 3.
Hofstede's cultural dimension theory is a framework for cross-cultural communication developed by Garrett Hofstede. It shows the effects of a society's culture on the values of its members and how these values relate to behavior using a structure derived from fact analysis. These include power distance, uncertainty avoidance, individualism, collectivism, masculinity and femininity versus femininity, and short versus long-term orientation, and indulgence versus restraint. Power distance. Power distance is an index indicates that culture accepts inequality and power are tolerated. An index indicates that culture accepts inequality and power are tolerated, e.g. high power and low power distance. High power indicates that culture accepts inequality and power differences and also shows high respect for rank and authority, while low power indicates that culture encourages flat organizational structures, which just shows us the difference that is there when someone has worth and when someone has no worth in the society. Those who have worth are considered to be with great authority and are placed on higher ranks, while those who have nothing, like we should say, who are short income.
Not nothing, eh?
Yes.
What everyone has something.
Yes.
Everyone has something, but it just depends. Others have much, others they have less.
They are on flat organizations and they have a lot of respect going on in their communities and societies. So the second is individualism and collectivism. Individualism uses I and states that there is a great importance on attaining personal goals. It focuses more on a person, an individual, and what they plan in their life. That's individualism. How one operates on their own without the society or without a group. While collectivism supports that there is a greater impact placed on the goals and well-being of the group. So it considers the degree to which societies are integrated into groups and their perceived obligations. Collectivism focuses more on groups and it uses we when being described. Masculinity and femininity. Preference in society per achievement, heroism, assertiveness, and material rewards for success. That's masculinity. It is a preference in a society per achievement, heroism, assertiveness, and material rewards for success. This is where males are regarded as heroes, as what breadwinners of the society, as those people who have a lot of tasks on their heads, who need to lead, and then it goes with assertiveness, achievement, and rewards from the society. Because when someone achieves something, the society has to praise them, so they are praised more. While femininity stands for a preference where it deals with cooperation, modesty, caring for the weak, and quality of life. You deal more with the living as a model, living as an example, trying to take care of the weak and achieving more, living to impress the others. That's femininity, not regarded as heroism. So, the fourth one is uncertainty avoidance. It maintains rigid codes of belief and behavior, and are intolerant of unorthodox behavior and ideas, while society maintains a more relaxed attitude in which practice counts more than principles. In uncertainty and avoidance, it just deals more with the codes of belief and behavior, where one has to live with the beliefs in what the society wants you to maintain, related attitude, the practice that was placed there to be followed. And the other one is long-term orientation. This is short. This is a pragmatic approach that they encourage thrift and efforts in modern education as a way to prepare for the future. Whilst in law societies prefer to maintain time-honored traditions and norms while viewing society changing with expression. So in long-term orientation, it is more about the society that encourages their kids or the people you need to get educated to live more on what they want to achieve. While in short-term orientation, they encourage the norms that are followed. They have to live on the traditions and not consider about the future or what they will go on with. They just have to they view the society change, how things are changing, but then they don't really consider of what the future holds or the modern education will go. So that's in the short term orientation. In digest and restraint. Societies that allow relatively free gratification of basic and natural human drives related to enjoying life and having fun, whilst in restraint societies that suppress gratification of needs and regulates it by means of strict social norms. So in enlargers, it is a society that allows people to do whatever they want, to live to their freedoms, to live life to the fullest, and they don't usually live by the norms and the values that are there. But then the restraint has orders. You try to do what others are doing, you try to live by the orders that are there. You're not allowed to overdo your rights or live your life in a way that the society doesn't. So yeah, that's more.
Okay, fine. Good presentation. Any questions? Any comments? Okay. Any questions? Any comments from the group, from group 3? Or to group 3? Any questions? Comments? No questions? No comments. Now, thank you for the very good presentations. The presentations were live. Now, let us look at now the overall observation from the 3 presentations. What have we observed? Now, it's free to all of us. From the 3 group presentations, what have we observed from these presentations? Seriousness. In terms of the content, are there any similarities? Are there some differences? Yes. One speaker at a time.
I think there's so many similarities, especially on the last one. Object and what restraint and restraint. We all spoke about the same thing. And on femininity and masculinity was all the same, including long term. It's all the same, just that the explanations were coming from different people.
And from my observation, I observed that 2 groups, group 2 and group 3, they had the same definition of feminism, and while the first group you had your own unique way. Though you explained the different context, that's why I had to come in that. Can you please explain it in the society context? Because you were more tackling about the family thing, but I wanted you to tackle it in the more of a society thing. So we have seen group 2 and group 3 explaining this dimension in terms of a society context. That the masculinity type of society is whereby they consider to be like you should be a hero, while the femininity is more like a female, like you have to be so bad, take care of the others. So the way the group 2 and group 3 explained it in a society context, while group 1 defined it in a family setting. That's why I had to come in and ask you from that question. Other observations? I hope you also observed this difference in describing these two dimensions. Another observation?
Another observation, I think the presentation of the group 3, she kind of like, of course she was reading from the book. At the end of the day, she was also like using her head to explain what she understood from the book.
Yeah, that was also a very good explanation. The group 3's the presentation was a little bit live, like despite they were able to read from what they discussed as a group, but we also saw the presenter herself was able even to explain it further according to how she understood the context, which is a plus. Very good. What else? What are the other observations? What about from the dimensions? There was a certain dimension which was explained by group 1, but I didn't see others explaining it.
Like also we didn't explain.
No, did you observe that?
Yes.
What was this dimension? So it's only group 1 who came up with this dimension. How did you define this last dimension? Androgyny.
Whereby a person has both characters of the male and
Female. So it's like it makes that means for you guys you didn't have a certain dimension which was explained by the other dimension. What was this which you didn't have?
serenity avoidance.
You see now, because remember when we were just studying the discussion, some of you said, no madam, you just have to share 2 groups, each group should have 2 dimensions. I said no, I want us each group to come up with their own dimension, so that by the end of the day we should see, and we have been able to see how this dimension, the same dimension, but they have explained in a different way, whereby making us more understand this dimension much better. To the extent that those of us who are not present in this class, they will have challenge in understanding these dimensions. Am I lying? The same dimensions, but the way they have been explained in a different context, but meaning the same things. And we've also been able to discover that there is a certain dimension which other 2 groups did not come up with this dimension. And this dimension is just relevant in the current generation, a dimension whereby a combination of masculine and feminine traits, a combination whereby a dimension whereby describes it's there to describe people who don't have a specific gender. They call themselves, they don't have a specific gender. So they've added to the 6 dimensions which are there, so they've added this type of dimension to accommodate it in the current generation. So gender ambiguity may also be found in fashion, gender identity, sexual lifestyles. A very good this type of dimension even come from we were able to relate it to the way we describe sexuality, because they are more related with this dimension. So it's also known as a unisex style. So sex is that's why I'm saying this type of dimension is more related to sexuality, because sexuality is sexual attraction between males and females, and even between different sexes, either males only or females only. So this sexuality is also more related to this type of dimension, whereby there is a combination of masculine and feminine traits. So that means now overall, how many dimensions do we have? I'm not hearing. You should raise up your now. An overall from this group, the discussions that we have had today, we can conclude there are how many dimensions?
7.
Okay, fine. Any questions? Any comments?